Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is the ICS BLE Vulture, the tactical version. Specifically, the BLE-011-TB. Now, what makes this the tactical version? Well, let's have a look, because you may have seen already the shorter version out there, or the more standard version. Let's have a look at this bad boy. So as always, you have your ICS card that has your QR codes for their website and their social media, and at the back, as always, the QR code for the instruction manual. Oh, yep, that's looking pretty tactical to me. First thing we're going to do is take out the accessories. So we've got a 14mm, if I can get it, 14mm threaded adapter, and the mag right here takes 15 BBs. And trust me, this isn't just any old mag. We'll go into this momentarily. Very cool. And just before we get to the main piece itself, a little tiny cute cleaning and unjamming rod. And then we get to the Vulture itself. Would you look at that bad boy? And for me, straight away, I can see where the old tacticalness is coming into play straight away with that very nice looking muzzle compensator. But before we go into the main piece itself, let me show you this mag. Other than the actual design of the mag, which I think is really tactical looking, these enlarged sections or panels, as it were, on each side tells me something. Because there's a reciprocating mag well on the piece itself, which I'll show you in a moment, which tells me it's ready to take CO2 also. Excellent. But what I think is super cool is that valve right there. The way that has been designed is so that you can actually adjust the power output from this bad boy. So you can raise or lower the FPS. And if you're more thinking about the gas efficiency side of it, again, because of the way that can be adjusted, you can get more out of this by saving more gas, or the complete opposite, more power, depending on your gameplay situation. So this bad boy is good for CQB, or even outside on an airsoft field. And remember what I was saying before about how the mag's been designed and what the magwell looks like? Now, just in case you think this bad boy right here at the front is just for looks, think again. What makes this the tactical version and just that bit better than the standard version without this is that the inner barrel is extended. So it pretty much goes up to around here. According to ICS, that will give you better velocity and accuracy. Okay, just to briefly go over what ICS has done here and produced for you. You've got these grips, checkered, very nice. They are plastic. Those are pretty much the only plastic elements externally of this piece. Everything else is metal. But the good thing about these checkered grips right here, you can take them off and do your own thing. Yes, there's various other ones you can swap this out with. And again, this platform is TM spec. So as we look at the rear of the grip, you have your usual grip safety. Loving the design on the spring housing right there, very nice. And again, bringing you back to how the magwell right here is designed. And again, this will take a CO2 mag. Okay, so right here you have your thumb safety, which is not ambidextrous. You've got your skeletonized trigger and a nice little design right here on the slide. Can you see that right there, like a little lip? You've got one of those on either side, which will make it a lot more easier to wrap that slide. Now, as we're here in this area, you've got your fiber optic rear sight, which is steel, by the way. And then at the front, you've got this very long, very cool, I've not seen this before, front sight post, which when you're looking down, it almost looks like it's a regular post. I love the way they've done that. It's like on a ramp system. So it looks regular there, nothing too long about that, and it doesn't glare. But when you're looking at it from the top, look how long that bad boy is. That's what. Oh, and by the way, if you think that's all this front sight does, can you see that? In fact, let me make it even darker. Come on, would you look at that?
I'd buy this for $1.
And here, look, loving the cutouts that you've got right there. Rather revealing, if you ask me. Now, if I can bring you to the slide, specifically right here, absolutely loving how they've done the serrations. I mean, if you look at it, it's not standard at all. Look, one particular segment starts high, goes down into sort of a ramp formation so that it's now flush with the rest of the slide, and then the one next to it also starts high, but in the opposite direction goes down again. There seems to be a nice ramp theme about this piece. Remember that front sight I showed you? Hold on. By now, you all know where this was made, where most of our tactical toys are made. So I'll just get rid of this sticker. I'll be right back. Right, so here we have your slide stop and release. That also acts as your takedown lever. You have your skeletonized trigger, your mag release, and notice that little lip right there? That's there if you're one of those that puts your finger around the front of the guard. And just taking you back to the grip, look, very nice serrations on the front right there. And then of course you've got some text at the bottom there. Ah yes, just in case you were mistaken, this is Airsoft, so it's telling you that, and you've got your serial number. I'm loving how that's done actually. And right there you've got a little grub screw so that you can adjust the pull of that trigger. And right there you can just about see it, there's a little hole on the face of that trigger so you can access that grub screw with an Allen key. And of course you've got a rather generous lower rail. Oh, hello, fancy seeing you here.
I like it.
Oh, you are an handsome piece. Okay, there's a picture that needs completing. Come on.
I like it.
Okay, now just before I get it ready, mag out. Let's just so it's not in the way, let's whip this off. Oh, and by the way, you don't have to at this point, but if you want, you can take this bad boy right off and remove that adapter. Now this is interesting. Apart from the fact that you've got your hop-up adjustment right there, you have a fixed barrel design which makes things a bit more accurate when it comes to aiming. And although we're looking at it from the rear, you do have the option of a short travel slide screw. And look here, look, you've even got a cheeky little mock steel extractor. Nice. Right, let's get it all together now. Let's go for a chrono test and an accuracy test. Remember the previous ICS high capper that I did on this channel where I said it was all too easy to accidentally knock the thumb safety into its locked position so that you can't do anything basically? Not so with this bad boy. This one is much better. I mean, look, okay? So look, I can knock that, knock it, it's not going in. You have to put some effort in to get it into safe. Okay, let's get the mag ready. And by the way, here's that hole. So I've got 15 BBs in there. You just got to make sure you pull this follower right there down enough so you can fill your BBs up right there. I'm assuming this had a bit of gas in there from when they were testing it at ICS because as I was filling it up, it was full quite quickly. So anyway, here goes. Put this bad boy on safe. Actually, I've whipped the mag out again because I'm not quite ready. I want to show you that I've switched things up a bit now, just to be a bit more environmentally friendly. These targets here, overall, as you can see, are much smaller, okay? Pretty much the same size red dot as the one I used before, but the overall target is fairly small. I'm now going to use, and then I'll actually write what platform I used, okay, on a particular target. So I'm now going to use that one for today's ICS Vulture. Then my next unboxing, I'll move on to that one, and then I'll move on to that one with a different unboxing. So in the future, whilst I'm doing a particular accuracy test, you yourself, without me prompting you, could look back on a previous one and say, Ujima Flip performed much better than the doodah that I'm using today. Do you see what I'm saying? Good. So I'll write the ICS Vulture and the model number right next to that one to start proceedings. Oh, and by the way, these individual targets are roughly just under 3 inches in diameter. And the tiny little red dots are about ½ an inch. Oh boy, here goes. Oh, and if you're wondering what happens if I've got a platform that does full auto, what am I going to do then? Because surely it will completely destroy the entire individual target. You're right. So in that particular case, I'll revert back to the previous type of target just to do the full auto. Capiche? Take it off safe. I've got my eye protection on. Now I know what you're thinking. But remember I said you can adjust that valve? But anyway, before I do anything else, let's go for an accuracy test. Oh, and I love too, I don't know if I showed you this, it's got a nice cutout on the top here. Decent. Haha, now as you can see there, that's a beautiful thing. Now what I might do, because what I did is I put 8 through the chrono, so that means there was going to be 7 left. Now as you can see, the groupings are perfect, right? However, putting 7 through onto this target makes one big splodge, as you can see, because the groupings were that good. So what I plan to do is to reduce the amount of BBs I sling at this thing. So going forward, I'm going to do 4. Okay, so going forward, each platform will only have 4 chances to hit that bullseye. Oh, and by the way, nice lock back. Oh, stop. My brain just waved at me. Yes, I've had a brain wave. No, we can't be just doing 4, okay? What I'll do is each row will be for each platform, yeah? Yeah, so that row there, I'm not going to do it now, but in future, 1 row for one unboxing, the next unboxing will get the next row, yeah? And so forth. And what I'll do is I'll put 2 in each, or maybe 3 in each. Okay, but for now, that bad boy is the ICS VULTURE. Right, now, remember I showed you that little valve earlier? Just you wait and see. Right, remember we were getting around the 250, 260 mark before? Now to be fair, I thought I opened that valve up quite a bit. Maybe it wasn't enough. But it was giving me better results, not by a million miles. So I'm going to have to fiddle about with this a bit more. However, I do remember, I think the last gas blowback I did, someone mentioned about measuring or taking the temperature of the magazines. And I thought to myself, I'm sure I've got one of these sitting around somewhere, and I do. So, yeah. Okay, so as you can see, that's just under 25, 24.8. So I'm just going to do it a bit more rapidly, okay, and then we're going to see what the temperature of the mag is and see, indeed, if we get another lot back. Oh, to be fair, that's not bad at all. We're looking at a good 2 mags worth before performance starts to drop. I think we've got 1 or 2 BBs left in there. Let's quickly take the temperature. There you go. It's dropped down to just under 20, so it's 19.6. And, oh, I must also add, Remember, I did open up the valve a bit, so that meant it was going to use more gas. So who knows, you could probably get a good 3 mags worth before the actual performance starts to drop. So yeah, when you get it brand new out of the box, it will be set just right for your region, and it's up to you how you make your adjustments. As I said, I'm going to fiddle about a bit more with this, but I will tell you, I much prefer this than the high capper I did before from ICS. Definitely. I mean, for starters, that thumb safety is a lot more firmer, clicks into place nicely, and doesn't knock into safety by accident, so it doesn't matter where you put your thumb. Don't get me wrong, I still love the high capper Challenger that I unboxed previously, but this one for me just does it for me a bit more than that other one. In fact, a lot more. If I had a choice between the two, it will be the Vulture for me. The tactical version. So a huge thank you to ICS for once again hooking your boy up with some goodies. Yeah, I'm off. I'll see you on my other channel.
Oh look, I've got a new level 3 VIP member, Robert. Welcome aboard. Oh, did you know your surname matches another level 3 VIP? Are you related, I wonder? Look, there's Alistair Kerr, and now we've got Robert Kerr. I wonder.